They spent 16 days in space, never made it home. Tomorrow marks 15 years since the Shuttle Columbia disaster. Remember, the world stood stunned as the space shuttle broke apart in the skies over East Texas. But there is a story that's behind the story. How 3 journalists, hoping to share something interesting with our viewers, captured history instead. Jason Whiteley takes us back in this WFAA original.
Just down the hall from our newsroom is one of our tape libraries. It's the station archives. This is every story WFAA is told dating back to the 1970s. But this event, 15 years ago this week, there's an interesting story behind the story. It was February 1st, 2003.
Good morning, and if you step outside quickly, that's a live picture of the Space Shuttle Columbia.
We wanted to do things live, so you can get that immediacy going.
That's John GUDJOHNSEN, a former news photographer who ran the assignment desk. And it was his idea to shoot the shuttle that Saturday because he had seen it before.
He called me pretty early and just said, "Hey, I'd like to get this beauty shot." And so I said, "Sure, I'll do that."
John PRONK was behind the camera that morning.
I didn't think there was any way that I was going to be able to, A, find it, and B, be steady, and C, follow it.
If there had been, God forbid, some other spot news, I probably would have sent John to do it.
You know, I aimed my camera up.
What? I can't even hear you.
And just kind of hoped that I'd even be able to see it. Right before 8 o'clock, it appeared in my viewfinder.
As it's going, something changed, and everybody knew that something was not right.
The bright light you see, obviously some of the heat-resistant material lighting up on the shuttle.
It was just kind of like we just couldn't believe it.
The live shot lasted 47 seconds.
Everybody was just trying to process what they had just seen.
The arc of the orbit brings it right over North Texas.
Brad said, "We're going to try to figure this out, and we're going to go to commercial. We'll be right back." And NASA Select said, "We have lost audio communication with the shuttle." Bang. We knew exactly what had happened.
If you'll notice here, it looks like you can see pieces of the shuttle coming off.
Each sparkle, each contrail was Columbia coming apart. A hole in the heat shield disintegrated the spacecraft as it raced back to Earth. No one at the time yet understood, though, the magnitude of what we captured.
You know, this was just a quiet morning out in my front yard. Never thought he'd come to this.
And no one knew. Channel 8 photographer Tim Hamilton, now retired, was shooting a second angle of the shuttle either. NASA investigators who later examined his video were able to explain what he captured.
By the time I got my shot centered up, I believe the left wing was already gone. And the first big puff that you see is the right wing leaving. It left and it spun. I mean, kind of circled a bit before the crew cabin separated from the body.
Tim retired to Tennessee 8.5 years ago.
We got taters, we got some carrots in here.
There's another part of his story he used to share.
You know, when you and I used to work together, I thought you told me a story about how you called into the desk or something and GUDJOHNSEN said, "Man, I don't have time to talk right now."
We were getting calls from the BBC and you know, all these things, and I just didn't have time because I just said, "Tim, I just don't have time to talk right now." Bang.
And that's when he hung up on me. Then I think that's when I went to the two-way and called him. And GUDJOHNSEN, he just goes, "Did you get it?"
Was the shuttle going over North Texas at the time? It looked like
the only TV station to air it live and capture those two angles. The Accident Investigation Board revealed that the live television coverage finally confirmed that morning what NASA had feared, that Columbia came apart. And both WFAA videos were cited in the report as well.
I wish it never had happened. I wish I'd never gotten a call to go out there.
Let's turn to that you were seeing that we might not be able to detect.
3 veteran journalists, just hoping to share something interesting,
Flip back around,
captured history instead. That fateful flight, forever connecting NASA to North Texas. Jason Whiteley, Channel 8 News.
Amazing. So what has happened since the disaster? Well, in the years that followed, NASA retired its shuttle program, but the mission to space is not over. We travel to the Johnson Space Center in Houston with a look tomorrow at 10.